In this video, we'll be looking at how we can effectively do SEO for our app. Before that, let me just add the created ad date to the posts collection in our MongoDB. So I just copy pasted a random date string off of ChatGPT. Let me add that attribute to the second record in our post collection as well. So created ad will be the same date. Make sure to give the date type and update the collection and click on apply. So here I'm giving post at created dot okay, just that. So this I'm assuming would give an error, right? Because this thing, it can't parse this string because it's a data object. It's coming as an object, and you need a string. You need to everything that you display will be a string or something that is like sort of a string. Anyway, it can't display objects, right? So what you gotta do is you gotta give it the toString method at the end of it. So now you can see the date will be printed on it, hopefully. Yep, you can see that the entire date object is here, but you don't want the entire, sort of the time zone and all, right? So let me just slice this up real quick, just like that. And yep, it works. This is what I want. This is what everyone wants, man, because it's tough. You don't want to deal with dates, right? You don't want to deal with any types of dates because that is the worst nightmare of every developer that I ever know. Okay, let me just uncomment this particular component, which is to display the user details of whoever authored the blog post, right? So I want to fetch the user ID from this post, right? And I want to get the user details from the user ID. So let me just copy paste this, actually cut paste the image component, the image snippet from the other file, and I'll paste it inside blog user, just like this. Make sure to import the image from next/image, otherwise you will run into various sorts of errors. And here just give a class name. Let's just group these bottom spans together inside one div because you don't want the spans to be located outside, just like that. And here just modify the class name to text, and let's give the container class, and we'll say display flex ln item center, and it would need a gap, right? So gap 20 pixels. Let's remove this src and fetch the image dynamically from the fetched data. So this will be user.img. So I don't think the user has an image. We will be adding it later, but for now let's just keep this condition. And we also need an image inside of our public folder where if the user does not have a profile picture, it will show like a blank image, like a blank head sort of thing that you might have seen in social media websites like Facebook and Instagram. So we don't need that. We will be doing that later. You can add your own image if you want, and write a fallback condition, which is really easy. I'll try to show that to you if I get the time. So here you can see that this is being populated. Okay, so now we need to okay, so coming to the SEO part. So Next.js makes it really easy. So here if you can specify the title and description inside metadata object, you basically have it on your page. So if I do a view page source on this particular page and do a quick search for meta, you can see that the title and description is being printed. This is really helpful for SEO. You can specify this metadata object for each and every page or each and every route for your Next.js app. You can also specify dynamic metadata, which is really easy and helpful, and I'll show you that in this video. So if it is a static page and you know what the content is being rendered, you can just give it like this. So style, title, and if there is no metadata specified, you can have a default title. So let's just say Next.js 14 homepage. Okay, and we'll specify a template which will be %s, which will be coming from our component, right? So whatever title we specify will override this metadata object. Okay, sounds good, right? So this looks pretty neat. I want to copy this metadata object into all our other files, like the contact file and the about file, which is really easy. And Next.js automatically handles this for us, right? So especially when we fetch metadata dynamically, we would be needing to make an API call, and Next.js will handle that automatically for us. I'll show you that. Let me just quickly add the metadata in the contact folder, the contact page under the contact route. And here let's just give the title, copy, about page, paste over here, give the title as about page and about description, and do a view page source, and you can see that about page and about description is there. So SEO is working. It just works. This is one of the best features of Next.js, right? It's one of the core features, I would say. Now, for you to dynamically fetch metadata, it's really easy. If you want to populate just a title and description, let's take the example of the blog, single blog page, right? So when you go to the blog details page, you need SEO for that, because we need search engines like Google to index our pages, right? Because that's what SEO is all about. So let's say const export generate metadata, and this will be an async, okay, and it will take params, just like how we are calling the API, right? We need to call the API inside our generate metadata function, and from here we will return the title and description. But first, let me fetch the slug from the param. So copy and paste this. So you might wonder, why are we making two API calls just to fetch metadata, right? But Next.js handles that automatically for us. So for a single page, if you are making the same call, Next.js will call that only once, right? Which makes duplicate API calls redundant, and it increases efficiency, and you also get SEO along with it for dynamic routes. So this is a very good feature. Make sure to add the whatever thing is that you're returning into the schema. So I actually spent like half an hour on this. I was wondering why the title and description were not coming. So in the previous video, when we add the schema, we did not add the title and description. So here, let me go to models.js and add the title and description. Type string required true, max 100, whatever. Just make sure. Go back to that page, return the title and description, and it will work in a jiffy. So that was the mistake I did, and for you guys, I spent some time debugging and learning about how generate metadata works in Next.js, and I finally found it. So make sure you add whatever is that dynamic keys, add it to the schema, or else it will throw an undefined error even if you have it inside your database, right? So yeah, I mean, that is about it. Let me just see if it works. Let me just remove all the console logs, and here you can see that the title is being printed, the description is being printed, and the same thing is being printed over here. Let me just add the description instead of the body. It should render here. Yeah, as you can see, the description and the details page. So this is about SEO, and we'll be looking at server actions in the next video. So till then, goodbye.